INFPs in 20 words. Number 1. Pensive. INFPs are not just deep thinkers and feelers, but constant thinkers and feelers. Just like their INTP cousins, that introspective, imaginative, deep diver trait really characterizes them. Number 2. Wise. Undoubtedly, INFPs have a sage-like nature to them. Catch them in the right mood and on the right topic, and they'll bend your brain with beautiful insights. They have a certain knowing nature, which, when delivered in an unassuming package, rather creeps up on you in the most unexpected and useful of times. Number 3. Seekers. I've often thought about INFPs as people who don't think that much of worth can be obtained through conventional means. Kind of like the sentiment of the Hunter S. Thompson quote that goes, "I have a theory that the truth is never told during the 9 to 5 hours. Obviously, that's not literal, but it speaks to an idea that I think INFPs resonate with. Namely, that there are answers in the cracks of life, hidden gems out there that the masses aren't privy to, places that can only be found by getting lost. Number 4. Individualistic. This is a constant byword for INFPs, in my view. FI, their dominant function, is predisposed to individualism and is often characterized by an oppositional or uneasy dynamic with the crowd, the collective, the group, or even society at large. It comes partly from the prizing of their personal preferences, values, opinions, and desires, but also the championing of the notion of the individual as well, which I will elaborate on with my next word, which is number 5, empathetic. Both FI and FE are empathetic, but they're kind of like two different branches or brands of empathy. FI is more empathetic to the individual often, whereas FE tends towards a more nebulous, overall empathy that tries to keep everyone happy. Of course, things become more complex when you're dealing with larger amounts of people. For example, a high FI user might be inclined to support a particular group of people, but even then, it might be a marginalized or ostracized group, a people in a minority of some kind. Number 6. Intense. I picked this word because I think it's both apt, but also easy to miss about them. They're intense, full on, relentless in some ways. It's just not in a way that is outwardly forceful or in your face. If still waters run deep, then INFPs have an Atlantis underneath their placid lake. Number 7. Taboo. This is not exactly a word you could use to describe a person, but hey, let's be meta and break some grammatical taboos for this one. INFPs, even the quiet, sweet, cute, and cuddly ones, are remarkably able to handle and even gravitate towards dark topics, the shocking and unusual. It's especially true when it comes to people who might be seen as dangerous even. It's obvious but easily forgotten that when Alice went down the rabbit hole, it was kind of a risky move. Number 8. Intransigent. INFPs can be immovable, uncompromising, unrigid. Basically, I wanted to call them stubborn, just in a more fancy way. Number 9. Poised. This is another word that isn't often used to describe them. Far from being people who are swayed on the tides of their emotions, INFPs are calm, composed, and graceful in their demeanors. More than this, given their preference for processing their emotions internally, they can even come across as stoic at times. Number 10. Inquisitive. INFPs, again like their INTP cousins, are driven by a desire to discover and figure things out. Knowledge is power is something they would probably resonate with, even if it's a sentiment you don't often hear them express. Number 11. Reverie. I did think about using reverous, so it was actually an adjective, but that might not be a real word. Imagine the feeling of being immersed in a book, or a TV series, or a movie. INFPs can enter that state simply by going deep into their own minds. Number 12. Orphic. INFPs, at times, can have a mysterious, enigmatic, and entrancing vibe to them. I think it's a product of so much of themselves being hidden and hard to reach. They're not open books most of the time. In fact, they're like books sealed with a magic spell that you have to decode in order to get access. Number 13. Wanderer. I've used this word many times to describe INFPs. In my view, it captures something essential about the way they move through the world, how they make discoveries and explore. I often reference the Tolkien line, "Not all who wander are lost." But also more than that, I would say that when the alternative is being on a path that you find no meaning in, then being lost is by far the better place to be. Number 14. Ineffable. This word applies to the artistic, philosophical, and even spiritual side of INFPs. It's when they feel in touch with the source, or the muse, or the energy of life. This probably isn't a feeling that all INFPs resonate with, but it's definitely a pattern I have noticed. Through their words, their art, their conversations, they often try to express this ineffable thing. But ultimately, you can only grasp partially at it. It's something that has to be felt. Number 15. Melancholic. This one does fall into the stereotype category, but again, it's something I've seen a lot in practice as well. INFPs can be wistful. Maybe it's because they're more sensitive to the pain they see in the world, or the pain of the people in their lives. I'm not sure why, but there is this sense of longing within them for, well, things to be better, or fairer, and more just. And the fact that many times in life, things aren't that way, and perhaps can't be that way, definitely lingers in their minds a lot. At least I believe. Number 16. Perceptive. Ask an INFP to describe the people in their life, and you'll find that they're extremely perceptive about them. Even if they might be in their own worlds at times, it doesn't stop them from paying close attention. Number 17. Playful. INFPs are often comical and goofy. They just are. Number 18. Habitual. INFPs are balanced on the subject of variety and routine. In this sense, they almost appear paradoxical, valuing the freedom of being untethered, yet wanting the safety and security that comes from putting down firm roots. Number 19. Unobtrusive. INFPs are rarely, if ever, exponents of aggression towards people. They can be people who blend into the background, fading into the shadows, barely noticeable if they want to be. They can float by with an unassuming, quiet grace, not drawing attention to themselves or courting the spotlight. Often they are the ultimate outsiders, observing the world from the periphery, but not fully participating in it, always ready to slip away into the night. Number 20. Tolerant. INFPs are characterized by an astonishing level of tolerance towards, well, by definition, all kinds of people. This gives them the ability to understand human nature and human psychology in deep and unexpected ways. If you yourself are an INFP and you would like more than 20 words from me, then feel free to join the Love Who Discord server and chat with me on there. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to show me that you like these videos so I can make more of them.